Hello and what is up, everyone? Just got done having some good tacos. Oh boy. Anyhow, sorry I did not include the intro. I just really wanted to go on ahead, you guys, and get the earthquake update quickly uploaded. Last couple of days, I've been taking such a long time, and by the time it's uploaded, well, then there's been a couple extra earthquakes, so it kind of bummed me out a little bit. I boosted my service, but it seems like internet companies these days are really kind of making you pay for a gigabyte, and you guys probably get the drift where I'm coming from. Yeah. So everything is money in this world. Unbelievable. We'll be getting into a topic coming up soon on specifically about money. You guys are gonna trip out on that one. So stay tuned for the next couple of days. Anyhow, take a look at the globe. Look at all the earthquakes starting off. Let's take a look what's happening near the Philippines and Japan. But that's just not it. How about we take a look over here first? Look at this, a 5.1 magnitude earthquake, 22 kilometers in depth, and of course, fairly somewhat well shallow. And that's just not all there, you guys. Now, coming up even further out, gotta remember this is a super weak tectonic plate zone. And like I say, in my terms, probably one of the most unstable areas, which is just not from here. You have to remember, basically, once it's out New Zealand, going towards Fiji Islands area, from that area, wrapping around, and then coming up all through here, it's just like a broken plate that you dropped on the ground, it's shattered in pieces, and then you just put it back together using, as an example, an invisible magnet. There, best terms to put it. So that's what's happening in this area, you guys. There's a satellite map that's just for the faults on Mother Earth. And what it does, it shows you coming from them, supposedly. I know there's probably some left out. Always something left out of something. But every plate where it goes zigzagging this way, that way, even on land from throughout the whole United States, Australia's got a bunch of faults that just scatter and rip right through different areas. It is insane. That one I have to show you guys. Now, here's that 5.1 striking in Indonesia, and it's only 64.35 kilometers in depth, you guys. That is another one. So, just because the way how things are going, it might look calm. We have to get in and take a look at the Australia map. We need to get in there so we'll see what their seismic's going on. Because the last time I checked, basically from Melbourne and it coming up to Adelaide and then of course following on through and then up towards this area here, excuse me, there's been quite a bit of small little quakes. So I want to see what's happening for the recent one. So I got to do another update. Try to do this quick for you guys so I could get on ahead and bring you some more stuff. I got to do a couple uploads tonight and some cool topics. Now, despite that, and of course, take a look. We got Samoa over here. And this is the 5.3. And that was only 10 kilometers in depth. That was a pretty shallow one, and that's the ones to expect when it comes to receiving more, basically a doozy effect is how I like to call them, as you all know. And the reason why, because when they strike at a magnitude like this, especially that shallow and right in the main zone for the unstable area, always sends a domino effect. So if not, wouldn't be surprised, you guys, within the next 24 hours, we see a few more 5 plus magnitude earthquakes striking right within the area right there. And then, plus they include traveling all the way up through Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, and then right up in here in this main spot, which is Suriname, Indonesia. 4.6, just call it a 5.0, 50 kilometers in depth. Indonesia's been getting some big quakes from the last time when we did the update. Guys, remember those? And then we had the Philippines, and I know that probably changed the way the Philippines go about their daily lives now, because that was a massive quake. So I'm pretty well sure people are kind of ready for another one to come. So definitely expecting eventually for that to happen. just because of the way how all this activity has been going with these earthquakes. And take a look where it's at. 5.1. 67.05 kilometers in depth. Now, right here, back to this quake, which is Kidul, Indonesia. That was a 5.1, and that was the one at 64 kilometers. There's going to be more pickup in this area. And even for the next coming couple of days, for the rest of the week, this area is going to be lightened up all the way from Indonesia and, of course, into Fiji and Tonga Islands region. Also, the Philippines. We got to keep a watch out for the Philippines to be receiving a possibility of at least, if not one, multiple 5 magnitudes and above for the rest of the week also. And then, of course, Japan, we could be seeing a 6.0 magnitude no later than the next 2 weeks, if not even sooner. Look how we mentioned about the 7 magnitudes. You guys go back to that videos if you haven't seen those. We talked about the 7 magnitudes possibility of striking within through the area, which was within Indonesia, Philippines, and going through towards up to Tonga and Fiji Islands region. Next thing you know, bam! So many hours later, what was it? A 7.2 magnitude, or was it a bigger quake, which was the most recent one? That was a big quake, and it claimed this, that there was a possibility of that to happen, and I hope it didn't, but it did. And then we ended up having more bigger quakes as close as 10.8 magnitude. Stuff is crazy. So, other than that, friends, you guys, a lot of pickup through the West Coast. There's going to be a lot going on throughout the East. And here is one area that we don't see all the time. Right here, Knoxville. Take a look up in Tennessee. Just only 8 kilometers just north of Seville, Tennessee, at basically a 3 magnitude earthquake. I know it's showing a 6.9 magnitude, and this was only 9.24 kilometers in depth. But remember, there's always the data that just ends up, I don't know why, but gets adjusted, and then this is what we get afterwards. So that's why it's always good to really just give it an extra digit or two, because that's what they really pretty much end up turning out to be. There are some other areas where you could go and take a look and compare the magnitudes to see what the other source is providing. And there has been where someone can list a 5.1, but then it was actually a 5.8 in that example. So Tennessee getting a quake. Unreal, you guys. New York, surprisingly, nothing either. Will they get another earthquake? We don't know. It's just something to have to keep an eye up and just keep watch on. Now here, Texas, look at this. This is only 35 kilometers southeast of Pecos, Texas. And oh my God, you guys, take a look at this. All those circles right there, those are all from the UFO landings that just had recently happened. I'm just kidding, you guys. That was a total joke. You know what? It makes you think, though. But I believe it is. These are some really big, massive crops. But you know what? Haven't you guys ever wondered? Does it make you wonder? What's with the circles? Why does it have to be circles? And then, of course, you can see more little tiny little circles. This is what's pretty darn cool, because you get to see it on map. See what I mean? Where will your next encounter be? We'll get into that on the next video. That one, I'm not kidding. Really serious. We got some cool alien stuff, and I'm going to be bringing it. But no, I was just kidding about those. But just imagine if those were really real UFO landings. Holy cow. Much love. Heads up high. Be grounded. Love, live, smile.